Joyce, one of the most exciting things that I've seen in the lives of clients when they create foundations is the name in which they choose for the foundation. And names can be very important, right? They can reflect who we are literally by having our names on them. But you and your husband didn't choose to name your foundation after yourselves. You named it Makahakama. Did I say that right?
Close, close. Honestly, we call it Makahakama, but
Thank
you
you.
can say anything you want because we sort of made it up. And
Ah,
hopefully, I'm not. I'll tell you the story. Hopefully, I'm not going to be accused of cultural misappropriation, making up Hawaiian words. Um, but the story goes is that our kids were, maybe 8 and 10, and we were on vacation, and we sat down and we said to our kids, "What are our family values? Like, what's important to our family?" And we all started throwing out words, responsibility, a sense of humor, optimism, hard work, perseverance. Like we had a whole list of things. Um, and we wrote that down. And then we came back. And in fact, we made a little poster, it's behind me, where my kids wrote, and they had little memes for all the words. And they wrote down the definitions of what it meant to them. And we, put that together for Father's Day and put that up on the wall. And then, 10 years later, when we decided to start the foundation, we said, well, how are we going to make sure our family values are incorporated into the foundation forever? Like that we are constantly reminded of those. And so my husband, who also loves Hawaii, he did not grow up there, but he loves it. He took those words and he looked up all the Hawaiian words and he pulled out like a couple syllables from each one and kind of threw together this word that we made up. And it's our way of reminding ourselves like why are we doing this, and just the values behind all of this going forward.
That's
that is a
incredible.
beautiful story. I'm so glad you shared that.
Sandy's right. Names matter, and that is a
Yeah,
really meaningful name.
thank you. So my kids are now college and post college, and we have for many years thought about like how do we have them, you know be involved and care about these things. And I think actually they're both very much attuned to giving back already. We have over the last few years invited them to be involved in the foundation. Now they're very busy in their lives, and they're a little bit anti money, to be honest. And so there was not a lot of interest. But recently, they have expressed interest to get more involved in giving back financially. And in fact, they both like do a lot of volunteer work. So we are going to get them involved, in terms of their own interest in philanthropy. And so the conversations I expect we'll have are going to be around how they start to get involved, and what some of the things we do when we diligence and we look at nonprofits and who to support. And so I think that's what we're excited about doing, is
That's
to
beautiful.
kind of work with them on
Paying
that.
it forward for sure, and
Yes,
their involvement
absolutely.
is so important.